Hey, man.
From the far-flung reaches of the YouTube galaxy, it's The Outer Rim.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. How you doing today?
As if we haven't sort of been talking a little bit here. Just like before most of my game streams.
Oh yeah, that's always when the voice is going to go out.
Yeah, it's time to clear the instrument.
You're getting the raw footage here, folks.
Yeah.
Just who we are, which is, of course, hi, I'm Darrin, and this over here,
I am a meat popsicle.
There you go. That's it. Perfect.
All right, to quote Bruce Willis from The Fifth Element.
We got names. You know who we are.
I'm sometimes Rob Stone. And sometimes I'm Smirking Gun. And right now I am just stressed the fuck out.
Yeah. We're dropping the monetization straight off the boat, folks. That's
you can swear now in the first 30 seconds now, I believe. I think that they've done it. I mean, yeah.
Well, the world's changing before our eyes.
Yeah,
hard
that's
to
what
keep
they change, right? That's what they change. You still can't say certain other things that we say all the time, but they haven't demonetized us. They haven't given us strikes. They haven't, this is, again, to anybody who doesn't understand why we call ourselves the Outer Rim. Yeah, it is based off of the galaxy that Luke came from. It is Tatooine. It is the Outer Rim in Star Wars. But we talk about it like that because we're out here in the middle of fucking nowhere, man. It is echo.
Yeah, nobody cares what we do out here.
Well, I mean
for the most part.
Those of you that come out this way, I consider you guys the real hardcore YouTubers, man. The ones who look for things, the ones who, want to find other sources of information or entertainment other than, your standard guys. And there's nothing wrong with looking at that stuff, and liking those guys or girls or whatever. But we like it out here. I mean, would I have liked it to be, no. Again, we've been over this, but when I think about it, I'm like, no, I like being just kind of anonymous. Speaking of which, here's because today we're just going to just talk about a bunch of things.
Yeah.
We decided that we had topics ready to go, but this is going to be I think that after a few episodes, you need to do kind of a potpourri. You need to kind of just shake all the shake the leaves or shake the branches or whatever the hell the saying is, and just talk about stuff. And you guys can just hear us, blah, 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 about several things, kind of stream of consciousness. And today's no different. And I was saying anonymous, and we're just segueing right in here. That group Anonymous?
Oh, yeah. Love those guys.
Yeah, but
I don't know who they are, though.
Yeah, but what do they even I'm just going to say this. For these people that pop up and claim that they're out there, we're watching you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They don't do fucking shit. Have you watched some of their videos? It is just them recapping events.
Yeah.
In what I assume is just AI almost. We're out there doing. No, you're not. If you guys were really all powerful, then why haven't you just somehow hacked? I mean, they act like they're these hackers, right? And maybe they are. But if you're all against all of this, then why haven't they somehow hacked their way into the Epstein files? Why haven't they hacked all kinds of? What I mean is you can talk and talk and talk and be we're the dude from literally V for Vendetta, the Guy Fawkes mask and all of that. And you can be sitting there pretending you're this boogeyman. But when are you going to actually deliver on something? When are you going to actually expose something that actually could bring down things.
Well, I think we had a brief period, the WikiLeaks era, where it seemed like stuff was actually going to come out, and stuff actually did come out. And whatever side of the argument that you fall on that, I think exposing the secrets of governments and what they're doing, especially when it comes to if they tell you one story, but they're actually doing something else, I think that is important stuff for the public to know. And I think, you know, when WikiLeaks and Julian Assange kind of went down, it seemed like Anonymous was going to be this like big quiet group that was going to do stuff in the background. But you're right. They pop up once in a while saying, we're watching you and we're going to do bad stuff. But it never happens. Again,
do it.
It's just posing. It's just, you know, it's just a show play, man. You know, they're just putting themselves out to try and be known, but nothing's ever done because so much stuff is going on and none of it's being exposed. The real background stuff isn't. I don't know. I think you're right. Posers.
Yeah, if you can do something, if you're real, then how like it's like how okay. Like, here's an example because they're coming off as this like godlike. We can just do things, right? We can just you know, the threat we have this, but it's like God, right?
Mm-hmm.
That everybody's like, how can like God let all this stuff happen if you could just step in and like, you know, help us out? It's the same fucking thing, man. Believing in people who make these like these, it's just like no, it's make believe. Anonymous is a bunch of if they look. This is my challenge sitting here, and they're never going to see this unless they're wait. Hey, I mean, come on, guys, do something. I'm like, come get us,
Guy Fawkes, man.
Prove me wrong, Anonymous. Come on, we're out here. I mean, if anybody could find our channel, it'd be you guys. So if anybody might hear this, it would be this secret shadow group of hackers that could get in there, and I can't wait to hear. Yeah, mine's in
yes.
Yeah, you know, Mr. Robot at least, you know, did something with his, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's probably where y'all got the idea from, is to get up there and put on a little performance. And look, if you guys really have that ability, man, do something. Drop the hammer. Fucking expose Mike Johnson for the fucking weirdo that he is, and we all know he is, right? Give us a list of everybody that works for ICE. How about that? Expose all the names, because that's what should happen, right? If you guys are such geniuses. Anyway, that's just that was just popped into my head, and it's been on my mind for a while.
But I think part of the issue is right now there is so much stuff that's being blatantly right in front of you, and it's not getting the response you would think it would. It's like I could understand the argument of like, well, yeah, we can expose them, but they're not trying to hide anything, and you guys don't care anyway. So what the heck?
Yeah, they're just it's dumb. But anyway, so we said that this wasn't always going to be, you know, doom and gloom, even though we started off attacking a bunch of supposed hackers and everything. But Darrin and I, well, Darrin's been watching a show for a while, for years now, I would assume. I don't know if you were right on board with the show.
No, it took me a couple of seasons, so I got to do a little binge work before. But yeah, it's about 2 years ago, I think we ran into that.
And I've known about Slow Horses, which is what we're going to talk about just for a minute. I've been almost watching it. I'll start watching the first episode. I just couldn't. There was just something about it. It was just kind of dull. The dull spy thing. Like it was cops. It just felt like I was watching another cop show in Britain, because there's a lot of them. You think there's a lot of cop shows in America? There's a lot of police shows. Or constabulary.
There you go.
MI5 and, you know, and everything. And even though it was Gary Oldman, I was just like, I don't know. And I finally, though, I got a new phone, and with this new phone, they gave me 2 months free of Apple TV. And I went, okay, this is the time. We're going to actually watch Slow Horses. And I did. And I didn't even know there was a current season going.
Right.
And so I sort of binged. It was like I'd watch 2 episodes or so a night or a little bit in the morning here and there. So not full binge. But I caught up last week and I was like, oh, wow, I can actually watch a finale when it comes out, except it's the last episode of the 5th season. And Slow Horses, man, after that first episode, and it was spoilers for Slow Horses, just in case. Like,
it takes a little bit to get to, yeah.
But like when somebody, the events that happened at the end of the 2nd episode, where the girl from Bates, I'm going to call it, because everybody wants to say what she's in now. I'm going to say what she was in. The girl from Bates Motel.
Right.
And Ready Player One. I'm going to mention all the things instead of the show that everybody knows her from, because I don't like that show very much. So whatever. But like what happens to her actually really sets, I think, everything in motion. Like the whole thing that happens at that house, that everything that falls apart there really kicks off that story. And I'm just really impressed by it. I love that it's 6 episodes because these are all based on books.
Right.
And that just gives it a better structure of like, okay, no, we're just working on these little 6, episode. They're like, and the runtime is different per one, but they always know what they're doing with that time. They give you enough. I really like the rotating cast. I like that people aren't safe on this show. Gary Oldman does have plot armor, but it's his thing. Nobody else really is safe. And there were a lot of times where I thought anybody on this show could bite it. And I just love that idea of a group of people that screwed up, but they still kind of get to work for the service. And they all have their own weird, like, things about him. And this latest finale, I thought, was excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that what's his name is now in the cast, or was at least up until the end of this season. The guy who played Baltar.
Oh, yeah. That's all I do is I just call him Gaius. Like, why are you hiring Gaius Baltar?
Gaius, yeah. He's that guy that shows up late in shows. ever since Battlestar Galactica, right? Because he showed up on Eureka at the end of that show too. And now he's showing up here like at the 4th season of this, and now a 5th, and probably gone. I like him, but Kristen Scott Thomas is great too.
She's amazing. She is so perfectly
Jeffrey
casted.
Price, is in this. And Gary Oldman. Wow. Like the chameleon that is Gary Oldman. So gross. He's so gross.
Oh, well, it does. It almost takes you that whole season to actually first season to actually kind of like him at all, because he's so caustic, and you're like, why? Why does he have to be this way? And then, his past over the seasons start to open up, and you understand more and more of it. I think we have this. I mean, I don't know for you, but I think especially being a child of, around the 80s and such, there is this attraction to this misfit gang. And maybe that's all kids, because we all feel like we don't belong. But I know at that time there was a huge number of movies that I kind of identified with, that it was always the gang of misfits that got together and was able to actually solve the big problem, do the dance offs, win the race, beat the bad guys, win the dodgeball tournament. And I think that's definitely something very much engaged here, which is kind of appealing.
They don't get the credit. They never
do.
They're never elevated above their station by whatever they've done to save the day. because in a lot of ways they kind of stumble ass backwards into things and accidentally and manipulated by Gary Oldman's Lamb character, Jackson Lamb. And I love that how he puppeteers things in this almost incompetent way, but he just knows how things are going to go. So he just maneuvers them and kind of badgers and bullies them into doing things that they don't even, he makes them think like it's their idea.
Oh yeah.
You know? He baits them into being better. He kind of taps into their problems and who they are and what triggers them. And especially with like River, like he's so easy to manipulate.
Well, that's the great thing with all of the characters is they're all there for a reason. You see, even River, he's a great spy. He is, but he gets in his own way all the time. All of them have the, oh yeah, you're brilliant, but nobody ever wants to work with you. Yeah, they've all got like great reasons of why they're there. And in a way, it's great because they can deal with the everything is kind of the fallout of Empire. All of the episodes, all the stories are like the mistakes the big people made at some point and the choices they made thinking they were above stuff. And it's all coming up and catching them in the back end. So there's a lot of, there's so many great levels to the stories in there. And you're right. The great thing about it being 6 episodes, as you probably noticed, the whole next season is already shot by the time that season airs because they give you a full preview of what the upcoming season is. So they've always got a season in their back pocket. And for 6 episodes that you can still come out every year with a new season, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. And it's like a quarter of what would have been the older TV generation of like 24 episode seasons. That means that, you do this in a few months and you got the rest of the year to do whatever, which has got to be great for Gary Oldman, who can then, go in and out of things or not do anything. Cause I don't know what he does to make that look. Is that his hair?
He takes a month or two and does nothing.
Yeah.
Eats and
that unwashed hair. Oh my gosh.
He's like a dark Columbo, which is, I think, why I kind of love him after a while. Because he's just so ornery. But
and we managed to not even spoil this. This is I highly recommend Slow Horses if you have not checked it out. It is a really great, and the character work is fantastic. You get just enough. I love that when they added Tom Brook as Co.
Oh God, I love Co.
Just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, just either with knowledge or actions, he comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and every time, and he's like really smart. He knows his shit, but he's definitely a psychotic individual. He's damaged. Yeah, all these people are damaged in some way, and sometimes sometimes that causes their downfall. But it's kind of like life. You watch these people and you go, okay, well, what, where would this kind of, behavior end you? Where would you end up acting like this if you kept going and pursuing it? And then sometimes your best intentions are also a part of that whole thing you're doing. That's still that part of you that gets you killed. And it's in the season, what was it, with Hugo Weaving in season 4?
Season 4,
where he's like, they have these good big stars who don't really have to be, they don't overshadow the show. They're there and you're like, cool when they're in scenes, but it's like the rest of the characters are still the main focus, and they're never like overshadowed really by these other people that show up. And I love that.
Well, and they do something also. I was listening to somebody was asking about or talking about British shows, and it noticed that there's a lot less exposition in British shows than there are typically in American shows. And
gosh, yes.
And I had kind of thought about this, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. And that's one of the nice things. It just keeps the story forward. There's nobody else that has to assume that you were cooking and not really paying attention. So 20 minutes in, we got to catch you up real quickly with some guy to come and tell you, no, you're paying attention or you're not. And if you didn't, great. Now you have rewatchability. But it does get the story moving in a lot kind of deeper way. They can cover a lot more ground, I notice, in each of those episodes than they often do in other shows. And I think that might be one of the reasons.
And it really does show the connivingness of the upper tier of the MI5, whatever they be in America, whether they be the FBI or...
Sure, yeah. MI5 and FBI are roughly equivalent, I think.
Or CIA.
That's MI6.
It's like it's so they kind of run that kind of thing of like just the schemy way of covering up for the people that mess up above, like not just politicians, but people with money, people with influence. And it's not, it's what we see here. You know, just done more theatrically, more dramatically. There's been some really amazing moments on this show too. I don't want to spoil it a bit. This has just been like this little bit of flavor to tell people that have been like, I keep meaning to watch this show. Watch the show. You've just got 5 seasons. It's 5 times 6. That's 30 episodes. It's not a huge commitment. And it's real easy to binge through it if you want to. I don't recommend people binge. I think it's unhealthy. I really do. Binging anything can just be too much and it feels empty. You feel empty at the end because you want the next thing. You're ready for it. And if all you do is that, you're always going to be chasing the next thing instead of actually taking a step back to enjoy or think about or digest.
See, that's the word I was thinking of right there.
What you've just seen. Why I like week to week shows is, and at least some of them have gotten smart about it. Again, they're only doing it financially, but that's what I'm trying to reach at. Is if y'all only care about money, why are you trying to end a show so fast? If you want numbers in your streaming service to go up, make sure that it's week to week. That way, that person that like, if they're cut off is in the middle of a show, they're like, fuck, I gotta keep another month, Well,
yeah. And it's also like, well, that's why you keep old seasons of your shows there. So people can come in and go like, great, I can binge and catch up to where my friends are at if I want to do that. And then I'm hungry and thirsty for the next one. Yeah. I think the not being able to digest episodes, and I think it also changes how we see them. We judge the quality of TV and episodes, I think, differently if we're able to like, can I get the whole season at once? Well, then it's one long movie versus like appreciating what little chunk of story each one is really trying to focus on, and we're like, there's too much talking in that one, not enough action. You need those chunks.
Do you have HBO?
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to watch Weapons, man. I'm tired of it's on there now. We got to talk about Weapons. We have to.
I do, but I don't know if that's something that my wife is going to want to watch. So I've just got to like put that in my pile of when we're not doing things.
It is.
Oh, I want to see it.
You're going to watch it and go, oh, my wife should have been watching this. I think that because how they're selling it is wrong. Okay. How they're marketing it is wrong. I'll just say this about it. Everything is done POV style. So it's like, and it takes place over the course of just like a couple of days, really. They tell you what happened. Then they say, okay, and then this night kind of is like, boom, like ground zero for everything that kind of like, boom, 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 boom. Right. So you follow one character to a point, boom, go back, follow the next character's point of view, the whole situation from their perspective. It's Rashomon style.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, certain things can happen it's got some jump scares. It's more psychological than anything. And when it's finally revealed to what's going on, to some people are like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, this doesn't matter as much as, again, how you get there.
Sure.
And then how you deal with it. Like, how do regular people deal with something like this? And by the end, I love this. I like original. It's not an original. Well, it's an original way of doing an old thing.
Right. I was going to say it's a new take on an old premise type kind of idea.
The way that they do it is just it's like my favorite movie of the year. Because,
well, I'll try and tackle it one form or another this weekend. We've got some nights that I should have to be able to do that. Because I mean, I have to do that, and I need to watch Sinners too, which I hear is
okay. That's up there too. Sinners is up there. It's not my favorite. It was pretty high up on my list until I saw Weapons, only because, and again, I liked it so much I bought the Blu-ray already because
physical media, gotta have it.
Media, they can take it away from me if it's on HBO or bounce it around wherever. I want to have this sucker in my pocket. So for me to say that is like the highest recommendation. I only buy stuff that I'm really into. If I can't live without it, and this is the kind of story that's not like, I was telling a friend that it's like some movies are like The Sixth Sense. You know, when you see the thing, when you know the things that you know, going into it, you're like, it kind of lessens it. But again, the way that they do this, it makes me want to go in and look for things that I didn't see before, or just, again, I'm overselling it. I'm overhyping it. I'm doing what people do with The Wire and Breaking Bad. But I sit there and I'm just like smile. I'm just like, when I see a Tarantino movie, I'm just like, this is why I go to the movies. Occasionally.
It took me years to finally see No Country for Old Men.
Oh, wow.
And that like instantly skyrocketed up to like one of my more respected films, and probably, I don't know if it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie, but it would be close. It's definitely in the top three.
It's hard. The Coen Brothers are hard because each movie is its own category. Just about, even though there's a lot of the same kind of themes, which is usually mistaken identity, kidnapping. So, like,
it's the cost of money and greed is like the recurring theme throughout all of their stuff.
Because I mean, like, we could like, here's the list of them that I can think of: Blood Simple,
right?
Raising Arizona,
right?
Barton Fink, Miller's Crossing, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, The Man Who Wasn't There, Hail Caesar, Burn After Reading.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
The one about the folk singer with Oscar Isaac. I can't remember the title of it.
Oh, Llewellyn.
Yeah, Inside Llewellyn Davis.
Yeah.
And then, and then like the Hudsucker Proxy. People forget about the Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh yeah, because they're all over the place, man.
You know,
it's kids. Like, No Country for Old Men and Burn After Reading.
Yeah. Like they are in a class all by themselves. You can't categorize them really. There's elements in all of them that are, I guess thriller would probably be their mainstay. Like crime thriller, if you go, but just quirky thrillers, quirky everything. But yeah, so I think that's enough of the pop culture part of this. You had some topics that you were bouncing around with. What is on your mind? What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Oh, there's been so many things.
That head of yours.
It's, as we shoot this, we are like a month in the middle of the government shutdown.
Yeah, it's October 30th, 2025.
Yeah.
The day before Halloween. Devil's Net greeting cards.
Pre All Hallows Eve. And I mean, honestly, just kind of seeing the whole fallout with that, the SNAP benefits are about to be dropped. People are already seeing the cost of their health care going up, which was already going up because, it's daylight. And I think there was like a 25% increase that was generally going across the board. And then everybody without subsidies, they've got like 100%, some 200%. They're going from a couple hundred to potentially thousands of dollars they have to pay. And it's just people it's bad enough, but then it's just people at the top just blah, 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 arguing about things that don't freaking matter. They're all like, well, these people can't agree and these people can't do it. And look, I support the Democrats in trying to do something to put their foot down and say, look, you can't keep doing what you're doing because you're kind of violating the law, the Constitution, all these things, even though none of the safeguards that are supposed to stay in the way are working because nobody wants to use them. But it's also just comes down to the arguments are just so far and above what people are doing. I'm already seeing, like on social media, some of the more right-wing people going, there's 42 million people on SNAP. Well, these people need to work. They're all young, youthful guys, and they just need to be out and getting a job. Meanwhile, Amazon's just firing 1,000 people. UPS is dropping people right before the holidays when they usually hire stuff. It's just that the disconnect between the arguments and the reality, it's mind-blowing.
They've got their people so spun out that they're yelling about people with SNAP benefits. Meanwhile, they're on SNAP too.
Well, yeah, I mean, most SNAP benefits, most people that get any type of financial assistance are working. It's that they're getting paid so little and everything costs so much that they need assistance in order to survive. You don't want to pay government monies? Well, you've got to pay higher salaries or higher we've got to find some balance point here, folks. Rent's too damn high, groceries are too high, incomes are too low.
But they're just going to keep banging that. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. It's both y'all's fault. It's just one more than the other right now.
Yeah.
It's both y'all's fault.
I used to tell my wife that the biggest difference between the two parties is how they treat the help.
Well, how would you put it? Because I know how I'd put it.
Well, again, you've got one that's like, well, I'm paying them a wage. They should find a way to survive everything else. And the other ones are just like, well, but we should give them Christmas benefits one time and maybe a little bit of a raise once in a while. But they're both the help.
I see it like the right looks at the help, us, as we openly hate this side of the help. We quietly hate the other side too. We just try not to let them in that we hate them. We'll say it to their face, but we've got them so spun out. They've convinced themselves that we're not talking about them as well.
Sure.
So they hate both sides, but they want to make sure that the one side of the help really hates the other side of the help and doesn't know that they hate them too. And then the left, they hate us too. They just like pretend. They're just, we care. We do. Come on. Look at us. What are you gonna go over to there? To those people who openly hate you? No. Come here, buddy. I want to give you thoughts and prayers. That'll make it all better.
They're so quaint down there living in the village.
Point out everything, but I have no spine. so I can't do anything. So, but I care about you. Just don't look into me either. Because if you look into me, you'll find out I'm as bad as them in some ways.
Yeah. I want you to like me, but I've got to be sure that the people that actually matter also like me.
I'm going to still find a way for you to not get paid. I'm going to tell you it's not the right time for that raise.
Yeah.
Just talk to us. Let us get our ducks in a row. Okay, let's move. We got to figure out how to move some things around, you know. And you know, they're the ones who really don't want you to have that raise. They're the ones who are really in the way of you getting that raise. Well, why don't you fight for it? Oh, you know.
Sure, every other Western country, developed nation believes that their populace has a right to health care. But you know, we don't think that it's quite. I think you got to work at it a little bit. But you know, we'll help you out a little bit with paying your subsidies, your bills.
Oh, unless we shut down, and then you're all on your own.
Yeah, and we're gonna make sure that we blame the other side on that,
so
that we don't have it. That way, we don't have to start Congress up again, and that way, we don't have to, actually let Congress people that should be sworn in. We can't swear in Congress people because we don't want that Jeffrey Epstein vote to happen. But we're going to say it's your fault. Because, look, military people aren't getting paid. SNAP benefits aren't getting paid. And this is all their fault because it's like one terrorist organization threatening the other terrorist organization. And both of them have no negotiating with terrorist causes. Basically, if one side can't get everything they want, then the other side is basically the same way. Except in this respect, as bad as you can make the Democrats look, they're actually fighting for something, even if it is still for their own benefit.
Yeah. Well, those and my favorite
will benefit us and what those people on the right actually want, or at least that's what they said they wanted, which was to release the Epstein files so that they can finally hear that their boy is actually in them. Right. And again, you just keep telling people one thing or the other. Like Mike Johnson's he's such a perfect
oh God, what a weasel.
The guy who will just always stand there and just be like, no, it's them. That's just creepy smile on his face. No, it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. I can't do his voice.
That's how you know the big difference between the them and the us from a top-bottom standpoint is Congress is still getting paid when the government shut down. But of course, Johnson hasn't had the House in session because if it was in session, he'd have to swear in Representative Grijalva from Arizona, and she would be the 218th vote, and they'd have to do a floor vote for the Epstein files. So we can't do that. But they can still all get paid with the excuse of, well, we've done our job. It's now time for them. You mean your job as government, which is, as the Constitution is designed to negotiate, that's the reason why there has to be give and take? You can't just decide to do something and then impose that on everyone else. That's not how this works. And you look at some of the C-SPAN stuff, and it's like all the Democrats are in there trying to do something, but none of the Republicans are. And he's like, well, no, we're gavelled, we're closed, go home, paid vacation. Oh, with the excuse that they're working, but they don't do any town halls because they don't want people to actually come and talk to them. So by work, I don't know if that is either on their tan or to get more donors for their party. Maybe that's the work that is what's really important.
It hurts.
I was looking at, remember Citizens United?
Yeah.
Oh, so long ago when they decided to open the floodgates of money. I was looking at, I came across a quote from the majority decision the other day that just kind of blew my mind. But I think it was, Justice Kennedy wrote that independent expenditures by corporations and other groups do not give rise to corruption or the appearance of corruption. And it asserted that the appearance of influence or access for those who spend large amount of money was not the same as corruption. They wrote, and I think in the was it the disagreement? I can't remember what that's called. Was it by Souter or somebody? They were like, "You're insane and out of your mind," but they actually wrote like, "No. Putting a lot of money into politics, that won't be corrupt. That won't cause corruption. It'll be just fine." And of course, now the Supreme Court more recently has ruled that giving someone a bag of cash for them to do something, yes, that's corruption. But if they do something and then you give them a big bag of cash, it's okay. Because that's a tip. It's a gratuity for doing your job. But it's not a bribe because it was given after you did it.
I can't even eat a bag of chips that are expired from a vendor who's like, okay, these are at a loss. I just got to chuck them in the garbage. I can't even say, hey, can I have that bag of chips? But these people can like just.
I mean, again, we wonder why things are so bad. It's because we don't matter anymore. We just don't. 90% of all stock wealth is held by the top 10% of people. 90%, almost all of it. The rest of us get to nibble at the little piece. In fact, most people, I think, fit the bottom 50%. Almost none of them own any stock, maybe a few in like a mutual fund type kind of thing. But we don't benefit from that part of the economy. What was the top 90%, or the top 10% are responsible for 50% of consumer spending right now. If you expand that to the top 20%, that's 64% of all consumer spending. The bottom 50%, most of us, account for 20%, tiny little bit. How is our economic action supposed to make an influence on anything? And how are we even going to count soon enough, even in the numbers? It's all going to be, stocks and private equity portfolios. I mean, until the inevitable crash comes and then, it's time to eat the rich, which I wouldn't. I would actually use them for compost and grow vegetables. Much healthier that way. I'm just, saying.
I think we just never mind.
You can't. That will definitely get us demonetized.
I've always wanted.
They're going to evict us into the outer rim.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a hunter.
Sure.
But that's all I'll say.
Sure. I'm kind of a brown thumb guy myself. That might be the only way that I would actually survive in the apocalypse.
If some people were to be on the run, I always thought I'd be a good bounty hunter. But just get rid of the bounty part.
What, I get paid too? Double win.
Like, oh hey, you got a bounty on you. Yeah, so bring me in. Nah.
I just want to let you know.
I just want to let you know.
I'm making a conscious decision here. It's not in my own economic interest.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. That's where. And I mean, that's why we want to talk about slow horses and stuff kind of at the beginning. It's like, it's too easy to jump into all of the darkness. Sometimes we need to kind of just lighten up, something that's kind of enjoyable. But it's just hard, man. It
really is. It's hard to because we sit here and I was telling you on the phone today.
Yeah. That
it's like, we want to talk about having solutions to things. We talked about what do we need? What do we want America to be? Right. And then what would we have to do to get that? there are those things that we have to get to, but at the same time, there's I was saying, like, it's so hard not to just be like, but we're never going to get there.
Right.
We're not there. We're not those people. We are not that society. There's a bloodlust out there that's growing in people, and whether or not they act on it is, I think it all is pressure and time, right? Like Andy Dufresne, just except with violence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's just it's everything is getting more compressed. I mean, if we really want to double down on the imagery, it's like, the pressure's doubling, the time is shortening. It's all happened faster and faster. And I think,
and when you cut people's SNAP benefits, there's somebody that I won't say who they are because I don't want this to affect my job, but like somebody higher up than me at our company was saying that they were worried that they're going to have to like board up the windows at their stores in the city because they're worried that people are going to try to loot the stores because of their SNAP benefits being cut. And all I'm thinking is, well, that's really bleak way of looking at it. It doesn't mean it's not something to actually legitimately worry about because we've seen it happen, just not in this way, not because of cut SNAP benefits, but what better way to try to provoke people into, again, that pressure cooker so you can do worse things and say, look, see, even though you caused it, you lit the fire in the building and then got pissed off when people destroyed the building getting out of it.
Right.
Like you're mad now that they destroy the building that you set on fire. Like, see, if we, and this pressure cooker is like, we're not even a year in.
Oh no. When people can't eat and they can't feed their kids, that's when people really start going nuts. I mean, already we've got, the air traffic controllers who are already overworked going into this. Now having to work like 6 days a week, plus find some other side job so they can actually pay their bills. I mean, that's crazy. People rely on their mental acuity. I don't want someone who is hungry and sleep deprived guiding my plane through a heavy airport airspace. I want them to sleep. I want them to be well rested. I want them fed. Bring in snacks and coffee and stuff at the workplace there. We ask too much of people. And if you guys see the old comic, I was actually going to upload it here. Maybe I'll throw it in the post edit on this. That has the old man with this giant plate of cookies in front of him, and he's got two other guys. One has one cookie, one has no cookie, and he's pointing at the guy with the one cookie, going, "That guy wants to steal your cookie." And that's kind of how the upper class, lower class, where basically that's what's happening now. The super rich are looking down at the white people that don't have anything, pointing at the brown people going, "That immigrant wants your cookie."
Yeah. And they think that the people that they think this is all going to be minority people that are going to lose their SNAP benefits and are going to cause all this chaos. Where I live, there's a ton of crackers, man, on SNAP.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a food bank downtown, and it's fun. It's fun for me to drive by the food bank and look at all the crackers standing outside it, like that all complain that when they come to my grocery store, they're the ones bitching and moaning about every other person in the world. And there they are standing outside the food bank waiting for their handout. And it's only going to be a matter of time before they feel the pressure too.
Yeah.
They're just not willing to admit it.
Well, like you used before, you have, the landlord that has part of his employees he hates, and the other ones he also hates, but he pretends to like them. Why? So those two can war against each other about who is better at getting the boss's approval when he doesn't care about either of them. And that's the same thing here. It's like you're so complaining that everybody else is taking your job, your money, your raise, your property, and not realizing, well, it's the guy who's paying you that's not giving you raise, and the guy who's renting your house or your apartment that's charging too high a rent for you to afford anything else. Ultimately, math is math, man. If you got to spend 50% of your rent, 50% of your income on rent, and 25% of your income on healthcare, that's 25% to spend on food and gas and insurance and everything else. What happens when that's gone? And I think we are, as a nation, about to find out the answer to that question.
Yeah, unfortunately, by the time this comes out, it's going to be like mid-November. And we'll have probably seen some things.
Yeah. It'd be interesting looking back, or we'll change the order of some of these. I don't know. We try to get ahead of things so we could be on top of stuff and have a nice even release. Here's a little behind the scenes, nice even release of videos. But that means topical stuff may end up being timed, so we may end up switching things around. You'll find out whenever this airs.
I mean, what we're saying, I think, is pretty universal. Like, these problems that we're talking about aren't going away. It just might seem like you guys are late to the party, but not really. And that would be one of the things that I would say about, for anybody out there that likes these, is we're not monetizing, of course, because we can't right now. But I mean, what I'd really like to see is us to get to that point so we can at least live stream.
Yeah.
So that way we can at least engage with those that do want to talk to us. Respectfully, anyway, because I know that this kind of video in a live stream would draws the other side too.
Sure.
I've already seen one commenter.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And I'm just like, but it was such like, wow, that was such a lazy, no, come at us, really.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna criticize, go deep.
You were basically hitting like just one of the talking points, one of the just lamest talking points too, of just like, no man, Trump good, the other side bad. What are you talking about? He's trying to do the good thing to turn things around. What fucking world are you living on, man? Get your incel ass or wherever. You don't have to be an incel. You could be whatever age, any gender, any race. There's a lot of racists in other groups too, okay? Not just crackers. Okay? Sure. Because if you look at who voted for Trump, right? Who he tricked into voting, or told them, hey, we're gonna do this for you. Look at all the Latinos that voted for Trump. And their culture is a man. I'm the man, and the man of the house is the man. Right? So of course you sucker a lot of those dudes in there. And Latinos hate other Latinos. There's so many countries there. They don't like, the Colombians don't like this group. This group don't like that. Argentinians or that dark skinned guy from the jungle. Think about how they talked about Gus Fring, right? In Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
Right. They looked down on him because of where he came from. Right. We're all just people. And then you've got I feel like the only group that doesn't have people that come from parts of Asia that hate each other.
Oh,
the Indian population. That's another group of, except those are wimps. Those men are wimps that stand over their women and claim superiority of them. You guys are the wimps. At least Latinos have machismo. You guys are wimps. You're the wimpiest racists, man. And don't even get me started on the British racists that are like people from like that area of the country, of the world. Oh my gosh, man. Racist with an accent. Like you sound stupid when you're racist. Anyway,
I remember talking with people that were like, oh, reverse racism doesn't exist. I'm like, you're right. It's all just racism. But don't think that it only happens in the US. Go to other countries and realize how much they hate other people.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons, because you're too white or you're too brown or you're not bright enough or you've got, you're from this part of the country, you're from that part of the country. They'll hate you for any reason that they want.
Yeah, white people secretly hate all white people, and it depends on how well you're doing. If you're doing better than somebody too far, you're too far doing better. Those white people, like they hate you. I feel like the only group that doesn't hate each other as much as everybody else is black people. I feel like they've got more community. I'm not saying that there's not parts of them but I feel like black people have way better community than the rest of the country, in my opinion, that are like, that'll stick together better than, and I know I'm talking about my ass, but it's just a feeling. Like what I see, right, is, I don't know.
Yeah, as I said, I am sure that there's plenty of hate for other stupid reasons in everyone.
But I'm trying to give props to the black community for usually standing together on things. Yeah, get enough people in a room, you're gonna find somebody who doesn't like somebody else. But it's usually like superficial, gossipy shit, like so and so's wife and blah blah blah. Like. Anyway,
you shouldn't hate people because of who they are. You should hate people because of what they do.
Yeah, for what they do.
I mean, you should probably try to avoid hate, honestly, as much as you can. I mean, that's one of the great things that I've loved about the protests is you find out you can't stand up to them in some militant way. You have to stand up to people doing ridiculous stuff in ridiculous ways. Do it in giant frog costumes.
It's okay to hate ICE, though, right?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, those Gestapo bastards. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a member of ICE, I mean, seriously, like people are like, how can you go live with yourself? And how do you like tell your kids? And I'm thinking to myself, though, a lot of those people, they're the ones that hate everybody anyway. They're teaching their kids hate. They might take that mask off when they go home, but they're still teaching hate.
Yeah.
And
well, here's the crazy part. There's actually apparently been a mix-up in ICE where they're firing a bunch of the higher people in like Arizona and I think in Denver and a bunch of other little locations, not because they're too hardcore, but because they're not hardcore enough. And apparently it's Customs and Border Patrol are sending their guys over because, they'll be more hardcore than the ICE agents. Wow. Even the assholes have people that are bigger assholes than them.
Yeah. If you're an ICE agent, you
find other work. It's going to go bad, folks. You're not going to get out of it.
Yeah, those masks they're not going to save you. And because what's going to happen is they're going to find the ones who they can find. And when we find them, we're going to squeeze them until they talk about the other ones, the ones that you do know. And they'll make you talk. They'll get it out of you because you'll want some kind of life. So those of you that get caught first, you might actually be the best off because you might actually be able to make some deals. But you're going to have to name names. And that'll be your saving grace. It'll still be your shame because you'll have to know in the heart of hearts that you cowtoed to the system once you got found out.
Yeah, go back a couple episodes to our legacy episode, specifically talking about, what this is going to be like down the road after this is over. I think actually, what was it? Schwarzenegger did a great video He's doing some weird stuff right now I don't totally agree with, but that's fine. That's his right.
He's all over the place.
But he did a great video about talking about growing up with the old Nazis in Austria and the type of men that they were and how they have it. And it was just really, if you want to talk about legacy and what happens afterwards, you know what's right and what's wrong. You can tell yourself any story you want.
Yeah.
But you know what's right and what's wrong.
There were Nazi hunters. There are people that are still probably hunting the last remnants of them. Maybe not so much anymore, because basically almost everybody from World War II is shuffled off this mortal coil.
Sure.
But I mean, there were plenty of people hunting Nazis, and they thought they could run forever. But they did it without, when there were no, people weren't filming each other, and there weren't satellites, and there wasn't a camera in everybody's hands or on every corner, or tracking on your phones. So unless you're prepared to dig a hole in the middle of a jungle and stay there, which, you know what, do that right now. Get ahead of the game. And just go out there and live underground, because that's where you're going to end up. You're going to end up hiding underground, running for your life, because we're going to come after you.
But choices can be made. Yeah. I mean, well, because honestly, that kind of hits the one other thing that I was talking with my wife about earlier today is the real sadness, I think, that also kind of inundates all of this is I think everybody knows people on the other side. You know, I have family, I have friends, some that I don't talk with now quite that much, because we're kind of on opposite sides of the fence. And it makes me think of, and it makes me really sad in that aspect of I mean, honestly, think back to the Civil War. You start to see of like, this is how families could fight against other family members, how brothers would fight against brothers, how they would find each other on opposite sides of these ideas. And we're seeing that kind of happen right now. And it makes me sad, because I also know that so many people, honestly, that are supporting Trump, doing it out of an almost automatic, obligatory direction. We're conservatives. We vote for the conservatives. They don't watch the news that much. They don't care about politics. They aren't paying attention. But because of their lack of paying attention, we're in a big fix that those of us that are paying attention are going like, what the hell, man? Didn't you see all this coming? And it's just hard, because I know a lot of these people are not bad. I can understand that they don't pay attention and they're just not politically engaged. But I also think that kind of at this point, it's not a lack of engagement. You're sticking your fingers in your ears going, la, 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 la. You have to be almost at that layer to not see what's going on. And I can appreciate that people make mistakes and want to, at some point, I believe everybody deserves a chance at redemption. That's just a personal belief system. I think everybody has a chance to turn around and go, oh my God, I have made some mistakes. I want to do better. I want to be a better human being. So please do that, because we're going to need everyone to fight against the craziness that we're in, or the worst that may be coming. And I want to open the doors up to everybody to realize that, hey, we all make mistakes. But if you keep going forward with this, you keep backing, you keep doubling down, it's harder and harder to make that excuse until you're just willing to go along to get along. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get that out, because I got a lot of love in my heart for a lot of people that just have a different political system. But come on, folks, this is like nuts now.
Yeah, you're nicer than me. Because I just
I've always been a bit of a diplomat. It's just my
No,
way.
the thing is like I am too, but I've just got this like I can't willful ignorance because of petty differences. The idea that you can't just let people live their lives. That has nothing to do with you. Nobody's making you change your life. And you want to control how other people live their lives. And that to me is where that's where I'm like, you deserve to be exiled. You deserve to be put out on that raft, like there's some people out there that are too far gone. And like I said, it's a lot of it is the older people, and I don't mean to dog on older people, but there's this. They've been wanting this. They've been complaining about this. They've been the ones in the background always your whole life. The grandma and grandpa, the joke of grandpa's a little racist has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have this opportunity to like finally, and it's just like I feel like we've got some solid, even the boomers have like some really solid folks that have moved past that and have acknowledged all the shit that has gone on in their lives to try to indoctrinate them, because it's just taught hate, just centuries of this shit. And our country isn't even that old, but they're getting shit from the old country that started over there and just and
traditional racism
and just hate this, hate that, whether it was hate the Italians, hate the Irish, hate the Jewish people, and then just on and on and on it goes, and the beatings and the just abuse and the drinking and the all this crap that has gone on over the decades, and those people we have a chance to finally put that away forever. You can never fully get it. It's like a suitcase. It's like you can't quite get it closed. There's always something that's like, there's always going to be a little of it where you just can't quite close the door on it, because there's too many of us, and you can't get
broken teeth in the zipper.
You can't get to everyone. Unfortunately, you can't. Unless no. It's a stupid thing. It wasn't a mean thing. It was just a stupid thing. I was going to say, like, unless aliens come, right, and just like go, we're going to just expose you to a light that just lets you all see the blah, blah, blah. Outside of something like that, no, there's always going to be like a little of it. But we have the chance to close the door on the majority of it. We gotta close the door on these people filled with hate. Because I know a ton of people that were just, when you really just think about it, man, nobody is actively in your communities. Us down here, the 1%, we're all just trying to survive. So please just stop listening to the people above you telling you, who have given you nothing. And I don't mean the person who gave you a job, the guy who hired you, because that guy just was trying to hire a person to work with somebody. I'm talking about the people that work above him, the people above that, like all that. The ones that are telling that guy to do this, all the people that come up with policies that are just designed to keep us all down. And at some point, every time in history, is a breaking point, and we end up hurting each other. Why can't we be the ones to finally go, no, we're going to direct our anger towards the right people. It could be done. It could be done so quickly. Darrin. The shift could happen just like it. I know it's like Hands Across America is naive, but something of that level, that's something, that way of thinking, the fucking We Are the World, that level of like humanity that's in us. And if we could just like ignore that, like if you're sitting next to your racist uncle, you can just walk out of the room and go, I'm never going to I don't have to be you. I don't have to do anything that you say or whoever. I don't want to say racist uncle. It's just whoever it is that's toxic. You don't have to sit in that room and listen to them. Because I bet you feel sick most of the time after it. There's a part of everyone that when you hear that shit, if you have a conscience, there's a twinge in the back of your head that tells you this is wrong. There are people that have clarity all the time. It's about keeping that clarity, keeping that thought and not going back to it the next day, and just developing that and realizing, oh my God, so-and-so's not trying to take my job. So-and-so is, because they have benefits, they're not taking away from me. We just gave $40 billion to Argentina?
Yeah.
And we can't do anything for the people in this country? Those are the people that don't care.
Yeah. The money's there, the opportunity's there.
Does getting one over on a political side, it really mean that much when you don't benefit at all? Really? When you never see anything but just yourself suffering too? You would rather and you know that you're suffering and you know that it's not the other side that did it to you. And we've got to hold everybody accountable, not just the right. The left is accountable too. They really are. There's a few of them that are okay, but a couple of people, man, can't make a dent unless more people, unless we, can, I don't know. I'm rambling now.
No, but I mean, it hits a point where they need us more than we need them.
Yeah.
In so many ways. Donald Trump can't do anything unless a bunch of people below him do that for him. ICE cannot come and go and grab and deport people unless the people in ICE make those choices and decide to do those actions. The National Guard, where they're putting together 500 member quick reaction forces for each state right now. Those soldiers can't do anything if the individual soldiers decide not to follow those orders. None of that big stuff can happen, even with companies, man. Jamie Dimon ain't being a multi-billionaire if the people beneath him don't support the stuff that he wants to do. All the employees stop going to work at Walmart. Walmart collapses. We do have a power. It has to be collective. And yes, it has to be all of us because that's the only way that we can balance out the financial stuff. But they need us to run their machinery and do the work and give them our money in rent and payments and whatever. More than the other way around. If we don't do that to them, any and all of their wealth and ownership collapses. It is in their benefit to have us war amongst each other so that we don't realize that. And I'm not talking about some communist revolution or anything. Capitalism can work just fine. I think it needs to be a little balanced out because now it's just laissez-faire, crazy, rob, cheat, and steal, and then we'll just make that legal. That's way too much. Do people need a motivation to work, and is payment a good motivation? Yeah, sure. We've got to aim for something, but that can't be the only goal. And I think it's because of that is we allow people to then collect and create scarcity and get us to war amongst each other. Heck, farmers just could give away their food. Grocery stores could just, all that extra food that gets thrown away, you could give that out to the starving people. We don't do that economically for the most part because then the excuse would be, well, they won't pay for food. They'll just wait for the free stuff later on. Well, what if they can't afford that? You're really going to throw out food? I mean, there are so many of these kind of ideas that can be worked. It's just that we're engrossed and committed to a system that we feel can't do that, and maybe that is a motivator to change that system. Then we shouldn't all be working our butts off like crazy hamsters in a hamster wheel 24/7. That should not be the extent of our existence, so that somebody else can get on the cover of Forbes as being a financial genius because he figured out a way to charge you more for something. It's just sad, man.
Trying to think of anything positive. Like,
can we wrap this up on a plus side?
Right? I don't know, man. Even look, good guys, like I've said before, good guys and bad guys, depending on how you see yourself, right? They see us as bad, we see them as bad. We have a common enemy. It's not each other.
Yeah.
All right? We need to put aside our differences and just it's the scene in the movie where the bad guy thinks he's monologuing, right? And he's the second in command's got the good guy on his knees, and it's all over for the good guy. He tells he's as he's talking, right? He thinks he's got everything done, and when it comes time for the guy with the gun to do something, that guy goes, "No, we've been working together now. This was just to get you in the room. This was just to get close enough to you. All we got to do is turn on them, because all this unconstitutional stuff that's happening every day, it will eventually get to everyone. And we've been banging that drum. And you don't want it to happen, man, because when it happens, you're going to be so unprepared. Your jaw's going to be on the floor. And when they're dragging you away, you're just going to be thinking, how could I have been so blind? Why did I let some pettiness between ourselves? Why did I have to get bothered by somebody who wants to be somebody else? Why did I have to take the bait on all this stuff that means nothing to you? It really doesn't. It doesn't affect you at all. If you can try to say that you're saving the babies and you're saving the children, while meanwhile the kids are getting killed in their schools, and nothing's being done about that. So why the hell do you care in the first place? It's all round and around and around we go, and the only thing that keeps happening is we pay the price, they benefit.
Yeah. Government should not.
I guess that really wasn't going out on a happy.
The government should not serve the people that already have everything. It should work for the people that do not. That's who government needs to protect. People that have it all, they can hire their own security force. They have the money.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you see this, you could. I'll just tell you this: like, hey, if this bummed you out, go watch some of my Critical Role content.
There you go. That's fun.
We might be at this point talking about Vince Gilligan's new show Pluribus, that's coming out on the 7th.
Yeah, that looks good.
Like in a week. In a week, Vince Gilligan's new show comes out from this. By the time you see this, it'll probably be on episode 2 or 3.
Right.
But don't you want to go back to the I don't know, man. Like, here's the thing. Like, wouldn't it be nice to go back to the theater together as a group of people? Think about like Avengers Endgame back in 2018.
Oh, the old days.
And you know what? We all sat in that theater and we all had differences. But when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, everybody cheered.
Yeah, he did.
When Sam Wilson said "on your left," and Sam Wilson's a black guy. To all you that want to act like you hate everything, when Sam Wilson said "on your left," your heart grew a few beats. Like your heart grew 3 times that day.
I tear up thinking about it now.
Okay. And that was and the grifting had already started back then, but we were still in the theater together. I miss that. I miss like the days of in the 90s when you go to the theater and a huge group of people. I still, like, one of the weirdest moments that I still remember is going to see Home Alone. And it's Christmas time. And I don't even celebrate fucking Christmas. But it's winter outside, and we're all going to the Art Deco Theater in Zion, Illinois. And it's cold, and we're all in our coats, and we're all just jamming into this theater together. And that feeling you got, being together in a room, all kinds of people.
Yeah. It's a great thing about
we're in these rooms together to enjoy something together. And that's just gone for me. And I want that kind of feeling back. I don't want to not go to places because people are there. I want to enjoy going to places. I don't anymore. But it doesn't have to be like that. So,
well,
if that's anything,
I like to appreciate a world where, again, we all have our individual freedoms, and we all are able to coexist within that. You think differently than me. Fine, we can still go to the movies. We still have a great time. We could even have a playful argument of disagreement. But we know ultimately we're all on the same side of Americans, and we're together and we're doing the thing. You're right. I think we need to get back to that.
If there's anything that we need to go back to, we actually, a lot of people, like, we associated with all kinds of people. Now we all act like that's different now. What's different about it? What's really changed except the people telling us that it's different now?
Yeah.
We're still the same, and we still have flaws, but we also have our benefits, and working together is our benefit. That feeling you get when you're in a group of people and it feels good, and it doesn't matter who's in there because you're all there for the same thing. Whether it's cheering on your favorite team or going to the movies or on your bowling team from work, and you might not like everybody from work, but hey, that dude that you don't like, he also hits strikes almost every time. And so he's pretty cool once you have a couple of beers. Oh, I have a couple of beers, and all of a sudden it don't matter. All of a sudden you find out he likes the same things as you. So the big thing would be to start forgetting our differences and start remembering the things that make us all the same.
And we stand together or we fall apart.
Yep.
Ultimately.
Live together or die alone.
Yeah.
From Lost.
Someone's going to come back to our show, folks. You know where we come from.
We either live together or we die alone. Oh, Jack. So anyway.
I think that's a good point to end it.
This is one of our potpourris where we talk about a bunch of things. We're unfocused. We're bouncing around because it's fun to do that. We talked about a whole lot of stuff in an hour and 23 minutes now.
Oh, yeah. We were all over the place.
This is a way to kind of, again, I'm very stressed out, and I didn't want to focus on one thing. I've got too many things in my head, and I think everybody else is like that too. And I think that every once in a while, every few weeks, we need to just do this. So expect these periodically, every 5 or 6 episodes, for us to just be like, we're just gonna say a whole bunch of stuff about all kinds of things. I mean, we started talking about Anonymous, slow horses, going to see Home Alone, ICE, fucking all kinds of losing SNAP benefits. We covered a lot in an hour and 23 minutes. So, for those of you and again, we want to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can live stream. So don't forget to like and subscribe
and share with
share the video.
Sharing.
We're putting out shorts. I know he just put out a short. I'm trying to figure it out because I want to make longer ones, and now I've got to go to TikTok and start doing videos there to upload to here. I'm still learning. I'm a young 50-year-old, but I still don't know how to work everything on my phone because my phone is still just like, it's like my car. It's a tool that I use to get from A to B. So, except in this case, it's like knowledge or whatever. But we want to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can start live streaming, so we can start talking to everybody. So the faster we get there, and we got a long way to get there, you know, and hopefully, hey man, wouldn't it be funny if we got to 1,000 subscribers and everything just suddenly changed and we didn't even need to do this anymore? Be like when Wile E. Coyote finally caught the Roadrunner and be like, now what?
Now what? Yeah, exactly. Hey, that I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
And I would be appreciative to all of our subscribers and everybody that was on the journey with us. But yeah, if we end this in a better world, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So for my part, over on my channel, Smirking Gun, we're playing games. We're talking Critical Role Campaign 4. We're probably, I don't know if we're doing Pluribus on my channel or his channel or what channel, but we're probably going to be talking about that. I've got so many more ideas to do, and hopefully I'll have some time to do them. I don't know what Darrin has planned on his channel, if it's just this for right now.
Yeah, all I'm doing is this right now, but I might end up throwing out more little shorts, more little stuff in between episodes and things, depending on like if stuff like just gets in my craw and I've got to get it out. We plan on again doing all these drops just on Monday morning as a regular thing. We're going to try and stick with that. If you start seeing more, that just means we couldn't shut up and we had to get more stuff out. So that's our current release schedule, every Mondays and then periodically in between.
Yeah. So I'm Rob Stone. I'm
Darrin Jakes.
And one of these days I'll show you guys my outro. I just don't know, like, is the world ready for my outro?
We're going to find the right topic in order to really use that, because, yeah, it's fun.
It's fun if you look. It's my dark sense of humor. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Outer Rim.